Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for choosing this session to come listen to what's happening nationally on demonstration centres, a very important topic. I'm sure that most of you will have heard of the European Offshore Wind Deployment Centre. For the benefit of anyone who hasn't, this is a cutting-edge demonstration facility for up to 11 turbines and the associated technology and innovation. The facility will supply over half of Aberdeen's domestic electricity supply, and it represents an investment of more than £230 million in Scottish renewable infrastructure. This has already proved an extremely eventful year for our project. That's a little bit of an understatement. We were absolutely delighted when in March Scottish ministers issued the consent to our project. Earlier this month, we conducted physical site investigations also on the site, so it was great to see a physical start to foundation investigation. I would like to emphasise from the outset, and this is almost my key message for today, that the project is working on all fronts and with complete determination to ensure that the project will be operational by the end of 2015. Now, before describing our current activities, I'd like to review the advantages of demonstration centres to the offshore wind sector. Last year, the UK government published its task force report on reducing the cost of offshore wind and how the UK can achieve a world-leading position in offshore wind if the cost of production can be brought down to a target level of £100 per megawatt hour. That report spoke highly of the part that demonstration centres can play in delivering cost savings necessary. Such demo centres can address all phases of a project: the design, the construction, the installation, the commissioning, operations and maintenance. And every lesson that we can learn will pay multiple dividends in the Round 3 programme. The report estimates that these learnings could be worth a value of £4 billion to the UK economy. Now, in that report, the Aberdeen demonstration site is recognised as one such site in the UK, and the consent of the Scottish Government reinforces this. Indeed, in announcing the consent, the Scottish Energy Minister, Fergus Ewing, commented that this project secures Aberdeen's place as the energy capital of Europe. Now, this support from the Scottish Government sits alongside financial support being put into the project by the European Union, and that is up to €40 million, and that is in view of the strategic significance of this project. Our site will be a key stepping stone to the delivery of Round 3 sites, 7,000 turbines, to the UK energy sector. I'd now like to bring you up to date on a number of our current activities, project work streams in offshore consenting, engineering, supply chain, onshore consent, and project investment. On the offshore consenting, as I say, we were delighted to receive the consent of the Scottish Government. A number of important points can be drawn from this. It showed that all statutory consultees were declared content for construction to proceed. And that was testament to a huge amount of work and studies over the years to study the potential impact of the project on the environment and other users of the sea. It also means that the government has fully weighed up the benefits of our project, including the objections raised by a minority of organisations. Now, we are working hard on delivering the conditions that were attached to that consent. Some of them are financially significant. We have to provide additional radar equipment for Aberdeen International Airport, and we have to pay for improvements to the Ministry of Defence radar at Peterhead. These conditions are public documents. They are known. However, these costs are within the financial model of the project. Incidentally, the improvements we're making to the Ministry of Defence radar will have benefits to other wind farms in the northeast of Scotland, currently sitting with an objection from Ministry of Defence. Another interesting condition is a requirement to set up a scientific committee to deal with the long-term environmental research on the project, and we're carrying out preparatory work for that. Now, we are, of course, well aware of the legal challenge raised by the Trump Organisation against the Scottish Government decision to grant consent. Now, we are monitoring those developments most closely, but I would emphasise that our primary focus is on delivering the project. Let me move on to engineering. All aspects of project engineering continue apace with our project partner at Technip Offshore Wind. And this is demonstrated, for example, by foundation engineering work, where we have been working with the Carbon Trust's Offshore Wind Accelerator project. And as a result of those discussions, we are investigating. The purpose of the recent site investigations is to investigate the potential of our foundations to carry a number of the innovative foundation designs emerging from Carbon Trust competition for novel foundations. This includes gravity-based foundations, twisted jackets, and suction buckets. So we saw earlier this month the deployment of a Fugro vessel to drill boreholes at the site at 4 of the 11 turbine locations to provide that geotechnical information. Other design areas under development include electrical design, constructability, installation techniques, and maintenance requirements. In all these areas, we will be searching for innovative approaches that will help contribute to cost reduction in the offshore wind sector. Let me turn to supply chain. Supply chain opportunities in offshore wind have been estimated to be worth approximately £100 billion of new business. This is a colossal potential prize for UK industry. We believe the businesses who gain experience in early offshore wind farms, including demonstrator centres, will be very well placed to gain a large slice of this market. But there is competition, of course, from our European neighbours for this work. Now, already our discussions with turbine manufacturers have resulted in a shortlist of 6 companies with whom we may contract to supply turbines on the site. All these turbines will be in the range of 5 to 7 megawatts capacity. Discussions have continued in a more commercial tone since the award of the consent in March. Other aspects of the supply chain will flow from decisions made on turbine selection and will be progressed within a timescale consistent with delivering power in 2015. May I also mention that tomorrow at 11 o'clock, my colleague Morag McCorkindale will be giving a talk on the potential for spin-out businesses arising from this project. That will be in the executive lounge on the Aberdeen site stand, if you would like to attend that. Okay, on the onshore consent, those of you from this locality may have seen matters in the press on this. We are actively working to develop our cable route between the wind farm and the national grid. Earlier this year, we submitted a planning application to Aberdeenshire Council to build a substation close to the village of Blackdog, which is just to the north of Aberdeen. Following a site visit by the councillors and a public hearing for the villagers, the council has asked the project for confirmatory site investigations to be carried out to assess the area which was previously used for landfill. So we have to do some boreholes there, also along the cable route. So we are addressing these requests, and we will be resubmitting information to the council as soon as it is available. Finally, on project investment, early this month, the partners in our project called on the Offshore Wind Centre to join our pioneering scheme with new investment. The call came after Vattenfall, who are the major shareholder in our company, announced that it wished to sell off part of its shareholding. And so this introduces the possibility of a larger consortium, a broader-based financial consortium, to develop the project. We are confident that the strategic importance of demonstration sites like ours will lead to high levels of interest in the project from potential investors and therefore ensure that sufficient capital funds are made available to realise its full potential. It offers an opportunity for collaboration and to increase the number of representatives in the consortium will be hugely beneficial to the project in terms of job creation and inward investment. An industry-wide partnership determined to deliver a successful test facility, sharing in the cost of construction and collectively reaping the benefits of a world-class facility is precisely the model needed to make the UK's offshore wind industry a world leader. So my closing remarks, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to repeat our key messages. Firstly, the project is working on all fronts and with complete determination to ensure the project will be operational by the end of 2015. And we believe this project offers a compelling investment opportunity for the offshore wind sector. I look forward to giving you further updates at a future All Energy here in Aberdeen. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Iain. The term Renewables champion, I think it's a tribute to Iain and his team that I don't quite know how long that project's been in gestation, but achieving consent. There are two real points for any offshore wind farm, whether it be a test and demonstration one or a commercial one. That's gaining consent and getting financial close, and you've achieved the consent one after many years of hard work. So I think that commitment, we should recognise that. I also think Aberdeen Bay was one of 4 demonstration sites that the Crown Estate leased back in 2010. And at that time, I think the focus was on the turbines. But I think in developing the project team, the consortium, has looked at what's going on in the industry, and the fact that Iain's talked about a number of things there, I think all were important. Resolution of MOD issues, going far beyond the impact of that, going far beyond the test and demonstration site itself, and helping to mobilise and enable other, perhaps commercial projects, shouldn't be understated. The fact that they're now looking at different foundations through the Offshore Wind Accelerator, showing joining up between different initiatives, installation techniques, that focus on cost reduction. It's become a much deeper programme than I think we envisaged back in 2010. And I say credit to that team for recognising that and doing something positive about it. And lastly, the supply chain development itself. We heard this morning about turbine companies, OEMs interested in setting up in Scotland, AREG, Gamesa, Mitsubishi, who we'll hear from shortly. Next generation machines are one of the largest parts or getting more reliable machines, bigger machines, are destined to play a major part in that cost reduction. And again, looking at the way that the project is structured, clearly a clear success factor and recognised as such within the development. So congratulations. Are there any questions from the audience for Iain on the presentation or about the particular project? We can take one or two now. If there are no specific questions, then I will move on to the next presenter.